What is going on, everyone? I'm Shadell. Welcome back to Rap Talk. And today I want to talk about this whole stuff that's going on with Tory Lanez and Megan Thee Stallion. Of course, for the last 2 years since 2020, we've been going back and forth of what this information is about, if Tory really shot Megan, if Megan actually got shot, if it was Megan's, now ex-best friend doing the shooting. Not really knowing what to really go off of. So, of course, I'm sure you've heard the news. I want to give my 2 cents on this. If you're not familiar, Tory Lanez was convicted on 3 felony counts. One was assault with a semi-automatic handgun, carrying a loaded and unregistered firearm in a vehicle, and discharging a firearm with gross negligence. Now, I would also just add this so you have a reference of the time frame that he's going to be essentially serving if he gets sentenced from this. He faces more than 20 years in prison and could be deported. I believe sentencing is January 27th, if I'm not mistaken. And I find this to be really interesting because here we are, where it's like you had some witnesses saying that, here I have a witness saying they saw flashes and there's a lot of commotion happening. Someone said they saw a short man. They didn't see a gun, but they thought it may have been fireworks. And I'm having like a tough issue because it seems like the internet is divided. You're either, I guess, lack of better words, Team Tory or Team Megan. It seems like if you're a black woman, you're gonna side with more of Megan. If you're a black male, it seems like you side with Tory. If you're gonna ask, hey, Chanel, where do you fall in? I'm indifferent. I can go either which way. Assuming that Tory did actually shoot Megan, then obviously lock him up. He did a crime. He should be doing the time, obviously. But with something like this being so iffy and there not being any real concrete thing, like you have eyewitnesses, but even the eyewitnesses were fuzzy. I just can't understand this a lot. And the charges that Tory got here, as I'm looking at these, they weren't charges as far as him shooting Megan. It's as far as him having a gun and discharging that gun, and of course it not being registered to him. So it's a tricky situation. I don't know. Everyone seems to be divided. As I'm sitting here just looking at this on the New York Times, he got hit with assault with a semi-automatic handgun, so with the assumption that he did do the shooting to Megan. And I feel conflicted. I feel like it's tricky. Because if you know Tory's a hothead. I said this on my past video when he went off on August. He did the thing with Dax back in, I think, 2019, 2018. Tory's just a hot-headed person. So it is very possible that Tory did shoot Megan, or it's possible that, Tory and Megan had their little lover fling happen. Megan's friend, which I believe her name's Kelsey, got salty about it when she found out and, started taking the gun and pop. It's possible that those things could have happened. It's really, I feel like, a case of he said, she said in this, and it's very unfortunate to see how this is turning. And it seems like no matter what, they wanted Tory to begin with. No matter about anything. And I don't know, seeing how confident Tory was leading up to this trial, it leads me to believe that Tory wasn't the shooter. I don't know. I could be wrong. And of course, in this, Megan's ex-best friend got immunity, and she did, essentially testify and confirm that Tory did not give her hush money or didn't tell her to talk about, this, about what happened. Of course, as I'm sitting here looking here, when it came to the gun, experts testified that the gunshot residue was found on both Tory and Megan Thee Stallion's friend, and they were in close proximity through the DNA evidence tying Tory to the weapon was inconclusive. And for some reason, the police didn't collect a DNA sample from Kelsey, which I also think is weird why they didn't test that. Because I don't know. I say this all as I bring this information to everyone that you probably already know this. You're just looking for everyone else's opinion, obviously, if you're watching this video. And I feel like, in my mind, Tory is probably not at fault of what happened. I'm kind of leaning more to it being her friend and her friend being salty about what happened and just there was access to a gun by someone. Maybe Tory did have it because LA is a tough place to be around. I don't know why you'd go to Kylie Jenner's party with a gun to begin with. It makes no sense. If you don't feel safe in that environment, why are you bringing a gun or why are you even going to begin with? But it's just, it's wild to me. I'm kind of leaning more towards it being the best friend that caused the issue. And nonetheless, if Tory, does get sentenced for this, I do feel like Megan's ex-best friend should get something. I don't know. I mean, she got immunity, so it's not going to happen. But there's just something sus about this. And the fact that, essentially you have three people giving you their different sides of what happened, it's really confusing at knowing what happened. It's a wild story. And this is probably going to be something that goes down in hip-hop history as far as what happened in this event. And if Tory does get sentenced, that's very sad and unfortunate that regardless if he did or didn't do this thing, a guy that had a great future, bright future ahead of him, and even in his past, he's been rocking for the last 5, 6, 7 years, maybe closer to 10, having so much success, and this hindering him, hit with 22 years and 8 months. It's just, wow. It really sets you back. Like, even if you get out, if there's like some way of getting out with good behavior, what is that? Like, you're getting out at 15 years? Like, that's still a lot of time you're sitting on. I'm curious to know what everyone else's opinion is about this. Who do you feel like, do you feel like Tory is sitting here in the wrong? Like, he should be arrested, he should be convicted, let it happen, lock away the key? Do you think there's something sus about Megan's ex-best friend and what happened there? Or do you think, Megan's at fault? Maybe she's making it up, which really doesn't make a lot of sense because she did get shot and there are fragments in her feet. So it's less likely of did Megan get shot, and it's more of who shot Megan. Was it one of these two people? And I kind of feel like, as much as I'm not the biggest fan of Tory, when he's on his hothead streaks and the stuff he did with August and the stuff he did with Dax, years ago, I don't feel like he did this or deserved this. It's tricky, bro. We'd love to know everyone's thoughts and opinions, all that stuff. As always, if you're watching this video and you got to this point, feel free to like the video, subscribe, all that good stuff. And let's see what happens as we go into next month, into the new year. It's going to be real interesting. All right. Peace.